Hello, friends. This is the Cryptonian. Wow, that was fast, actually. Just finished the previous video, and yeah, Bitcoin took a dump down to the first target here at 29,370, and this is at the 50-day moving average. And this is pretty much what I said uh, was the first target. So down here we see that we did turn blue on this candle. So, and we're still in expansion, and this is pretty much exactly what I explained would happen as well if we saw a break of that range and an acceleration to the downside. So we are in acceleration, we are in expansion. We can see that expansion up here in our window. So expansion leads to stronger moves, and that's kind of what we're seeing. Is we're seeing acceleration, and we're seeing um, a blue increase in volatility, the blue line here. So uh, pretty much this is a real move, and finally we're seeing something happen, and this is pretty much what I was talking about for some time. Now, if this does not hold, okay, this 50-day moving average, then the next area of interest would be 28,366, 28,000, let's see. Yeah, 28,300 to 28,350, something like that. That's the zero point 0.5 Fibonacci level here. Between that level and the next one down, which is the golden pocket, 27,500. In this area is a possible target for the pullback. That's if we have a significant pullback and a real pullback. Um, Bitcoin likes to fake out quite often. Bitcoin does see volatility prior to the Fed meetings, and that's what we're having on Wednesday. So we can see already it's starting to see some purchasing here, and we see that there is a line here. But we're just getting started on the day. We've got 13 hours left to go, so a lot can happen. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. 43 is the RSI. EMA is bullish while the DMA is bearish. So that's the DMA is a early sign of a trend reversal, and that's pretty much what we're seeing. We just lost this consolidation area up here. Finally, we had a move, and so we see here on the daily pivots, we lost the daily pivot, which is bearish, 30,054, and lost the first two supports, 29,758 and 29,433. So currently we're above the third S3 pivot, 29,137. So this is where support is. We're just above that support. Volatility is still low in relative terms, which volatility is right now 5.4, 5.5 basically. And so yeah, there you have it. So is this possible that we could? Is it possible that if we get good news from the Fed, that we move back up? Yeah, it is. However, probably not likely. Like I said in the previous video, the projected interest rate hike is 0.25%. So that's kind of what the market is expecting, and that's why we're seeing some weakness here. And taking a look across the board, we do see 1 inch in correction, 7.5%. There is an acceleration to corrections in the altcoins, and this is what I've said before, that whenever there's a correction in Bitcoin, you're typically going to see a much larger correction in the altcoins. So holding altcoins during a Bitcoin correction, if you're a long-term investor, it's not a problem, not an issue. If you know what you're doing, and if you have a strategy of scaling in, dollar cost averaging in over time, and you have a couple of year, 1 to 2 year time horizon to hold, then that's not not a bad idea. This is all insignificant to you, but if you're a short-term buyer, then this is more uh, relevant to you. And of course, altcoins, like I said, could increase your losses in the short term. So Aave, about 4%, 3.9 for Aave. Let's take a look at Aave real quick. So Aave here, and this is kind of what I said before, right? I said if Bitcoin does have a pullback, then for Aave, the point of interest is right here on the 69.25 support area right here. So Aave slipped down, and Aave is at the 50 moving average as well. So you can see how Aave mimics and follows Bitcoin, right? So not a surprise there that we've seen this in the past. We've lost the 200 here. Still too early to tell if this is temporary or if it is permanent, you know, longer term. But we are at this support line here at the 50 and at this 69.25 yellow line area. And so, whoops, the yellow line is right here. And so the point of interest below that is, let's see, taking a look at the move, is the golden pocket right here. Golden pocket just below. Of course, depending on what Bitcoin does, right? So if Bitcoin does continue lower, then Aave will continue lower as well. Zero point 0.5 fib coming in at 67.44, and the zero point 0.6 fib coming in at 62.72. So between those two price points is a likely consolidation point and a possible entry for buying the dip if that's one of your strategies. Algo down 5.2%. Arweave down 4.5%. Arweave did have failure on the breakout because Bitcoin pretty much spoiled the breakout. And we were talking about that breakout, possible breakout and possible move to the 200 moving average. That is negated. I did say that this move in the altcoins to the 200, these gains are predicated upon Bitcoin staying steady or moving higher. And of course, Bitcoin is not. And so these moves to the 200, at least for now, are off the table. And so previous videos that I made about that, off the table, that strategy is not viable right now. And so just keep that in mind and be aware of that until something occurs with Bitcoin, like stability or move higher, something like that. So right now at this time, not a good idea. Probably not a good idea to try to get into altcoins for a move to 200. We're just not going to see that right now, at least for a few days this week, probably up into the Fed meeting, something like that. So, not investment advice. This is just my opinion. Of course, this could be a buy the dip opportunity. Most likely will be if Bitcoin does not correct too harshly here, and if the Fed gives good news, right? So, Atom is down 3%, and these percentages are not really severe. Or excuse me, 1 inch is down over 7% just because 1 inch exploded not very long ago. So Dogecoin defying the market. Dogecoin's actually up 2.6%. Dogecoin did pull off that move and reach the 200 moving average. And this is kind of what I was talking about with the other altcoins. So Doge was one that actually made it prior to Bitcoin pulling back. And that has, I believe, if I remember correctly, has something to do with Elon Musk, possibly. So DOT down 3.5%, Engine 6%. So you can see that the market's pulling back with Bitcoin, and nothing surprising. I mean, this is pretty much what we expect. This is kind of the way the market moves. Naka down 5.6%. That's gaming. And Render 5.3%, and Sand also gaming down 5.5%. So you can see that Bitcoin affects the market greatly if you're new. So yeah, there you go, friends. That's pretty much about it. I just wanted to give an update. Like I said, I wanted to give that update for the downside target for Bitcoin, and of course for Avi as well. And that's what we're looking at right now. Just have to wait and see what happens for that. So let's take a look at the 4 hour here. Yeah. Okay. So you can see here on the 4 hour, definite break here on the 4 hour. And we did have a bounce right off of that 4 hour fib, the fib right here, 28,950. We had a bounce exactly to the dollar off of that fib. And that's why I use fib lines, friends. I use fib lines because fib lines are very, very, um, excuse me, very accurate, very relevant to market moves and price action. Um, so yeah, so there you have it. Just waiting for the FOMC meeting. Uh, Bitcoin finally and officially in correction, finally broke that range up here where we were at for so long, and I pretty much expected that, just didn't know exactly when that was going to happen. Um, Bitcoin likes to kind of fake you out and is very volatile at times, and so um, but finally that weekly bearish candle, and this is what I was talking about before, this weekly bearish candle was pretty much a sign that this was coming. And I mentioned this in a few videos ago, a few times. That weekly bearish candle right there, uh, giving a bearish sentiment to the market, bearish shadow overcasting the weekly chart, and now we're coming down here. Now on the weekly, we are at the 10 moving average, finding a little bit of support off that 10 moving average. And will that hold? We'll have to wait and see what the FOMC, or excuse me, the Fed meeting says. And so on the weekly support here at the fib, which is 28,140. That's the next step down on the weekly, and then we have the 30 and the 50 down here, and that is at 26,894, about 27,000 around that area would be support. So yeah, so there you have it. We'll just have to wait and see what the Fed meeting holds this week. We have a break of support and not expecting too much. So because we have a break of support here, yep, and this is a definite, whoops, let me move the chart up, and this is a definite break of support here. So right here, definite break here, and so we'll just have to wait and see. It's probably going to just be a very lackluster week unless we have positive news for for the markets through the Fed meeting, right? Interest rate cuts or something like that. Not cuts, but pause until the end of the month, or or end of the year, something like that. Something very positive, and that would really change everything for the market. But we'll have to wait and see. Not really expecting that. Actually, expecting a 0.25% rate increase. That's what the forecast is. So anyway, there you go. Those are the downside targets. We'll have to just wait and see. Will Bitcoin make it down to the 28,300 or 27,500 level? Just remains to be seen. Is it likely? Yeah, I think it's likely. Very possible. But we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. Right? So finally, Bitcoin made a move. Good to see that. Now that we have made a move here, then we have new ranges, and it confirms pretty much what I was suspecting from the chart and the indicator. And of course, this Cryptonian volatility mod indicator, I love this indicator. This indicator showing that this was kind of coming, right? That this move As I said in the last video, we could see a reversal to expansion if we broke that uh, this area here, if we broke this consolidation area here. And so it's good to see. I coded this, and this is a new indicator, and I coded this for this reason, for this purpose, and it's working excellent. So it's good to see that. Thanks, friends, for watching. Please go ahead and click like, and please subscribe if you have not done so already. It really helps the channel out. It's a brand new channel. Although I'm not new, the channel is, because my last channel, for some reason, I was locked out. So anyway, take care, friends. We will see you in the next video.